Hello and happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm excited to be back. I hope you all had a really good weekend. Today, we are talking about some alternatives to toxic products that we probably use every day that we have in our house or in our workplace. So, we're going to be identifying some of those things and also a really great replacement for some of these products and everyday household items that we are using that are contributing to our toxicity. And on Thursday, Casey's going to be back and we're going to be talking more about toxicity. What does that mean? And what else can we do about it? So today we're going to give you some, like I said, some great tips on toxic household items and what to replace them with. So one of these things that I know that I use fairly regularly and have had to improve the quality on it is plastic. So plastic food containers for all of my food prep and leftovers and freezing. So ideally, we would like to use glass containers, stainless steel. That is preferable to plastic. I do understand that some of that is a little bit heavier. It's not quite as lightweight as plastic. So if you are going to use plastics, be sure to find BPA-free plastic. Do not microwave plastic. Do not microwave your food in plastic containers. Toxins will leach from the plastic into your food. So do not recommend that. Do not leave plastic water bottles in a heated car unless you have them in a cooler. Likewise with other plastic containers, don't let them get heated or warm. So those are my top suggestions for replacing plastic or using plastic in a less toxic way. Also, in terms of cooking, you're going to want to get rid of your nonstick cooking pans with the Teflon coating. It is extremely toxic. There's actually a documentary out there on how toxic this chemical is. So you're going to want to replace those pans with some good stainless steel. It also heats really nicely if you get like a heavy bottom stainless steel pan or cast iron. I love my cast iron. It works best, I would say, on a gas stove with an iron grate. I know it can be a little trickier on a glass top electrical stove, but cast iron lasts forever. You just have to make sure you oil it and season it well and to take good care of it. They work amazing. The heat is super, super even. You can also stick them in the oven and bake things in your cast iron. So they're very versatile items, like I said, and they last forever. So other things that we use on a regular basis are a lot of our household cleaning products. So laundry detergents, dish soaps, disinfectants. So anything we use to clean our bathroom, clean the toilet, clean the kitchen, all those things. So depending on what you use, you're going to want to reduce your toxic load and your exposure by using more naturally based cleaners. So there's lots of good brands out there depending on where you are in the world and what your local stores will actually carry. I know one of my larger supermarkets I go to has a really great alternative section where they have different health food products and also all the different natural cleaners like laundry detergents, dish soaps, little dish tabs that you can use in your dishwasher, everything from all-purpose cleaner to toilet cleaner. So some brands that are really great options are Myers brand, Norwex, 7th Generation. There's even natural store brands too that you can find at Whole Foods. Also, just my local grocery store at the Sobeys I go to, there's some really good brands that are just the grocery store brands. And you can also get things, there's Ecos brand. That one is carried at Costco. I've seen it very frequently. And just vinegar and water or even making some water and essential oils blends and getting your own spray bottle to put those in. So you can Google that. There's tons of natural, like homemade cleansers that you can just make yourself and just refill your spray bottles. So those are some really great options to clean your home without using toxic chemicals. So also, I wanted to mention when it comes to soaps, they don't have to be super foamy in order to do their job and to clean well. I know for me, I thought forever, oh my goodness, my soaps need to be super, super foamy and bubbly or else they're not cleaning. Not so. So more natural soaps tend to not be as foamy. They don't have as many surfactants in it, which can actually damage the environment as well. So just to keep that in mind. Other personal care products that we want to be aware of that can have a lot of toxins and chemicals in them are personal care products such as cosmetics, our lotions, shampoos, body washes, all those things. One thing in particular that we really want to be aware of is artificial scents. Now, I know that they can smell really good. I do really like the smell of some perfumes and different scented candles or scented lotions, scented hair products. But the problem with artificial scents is that they're actually hormone disruptors. There is something in them called phthalates that are chemicals that can disrupt our hormones. So that's just one of the things that artificial scents can do to our bodies. And so we want to get naturally scented products, things that are scented with natural essential oils, things that our body isn't going to reject and that it can actually recognize as something that is coming from a plant. So scents are something really to look out for. And also there are so many different chemicals in many of the cosmetics that we have out there on the market. There's a lot of loopholes that these manufacturers can get away with in terms of what they put into their products. So it's really great to go with safer options and safer brands. I know that there's different multi-level marketing companies that have really good products such as Arbonne, Beauty Counter. They carry really great natural brands. And also Burt's Bees is a great one too. You can usually find that at even your local pharmacy or drugstore, your grocery stores, health food stores. One brand I really love for shampoo and body wash is called Everyone. That's the brand. They smell amazing and they work amazing too. There's another great brand called Tom's. There's Dr. Bronner's. There's Jason brand as well. So check out your local health food store, your Whole Foods if you have one of those. There's so many different brands that are great, safe alternatives for cosmetics and skincare products. Another one is fluoride toothpaste. I know that I grew up being told that we needed to make sure that we had fluoride in our toothpaste and we'd have fluoride treatments when we were kids as well, in order to protect our teeth and keep them healthy. Unfortunately, fluoride is a heavy metal. It can build up in our system. It is a toxin. It is not necessary to keep your teeth healthy. So I recommend using a toothpaste that has no fluoride in it. There are lots on the market. Again, Burt's Bees is a great brand. Jason is a great brand. Dr. Bronner's. Like I said, check out your health food store or the health food section at your local grocery store. There's tons of options for more natural toothpaste. And if you're really ambitious, you can even make your own. I've Googled that before. I just personally don't like to take the time to do it, but using some essential oils and some baking soda and things like that, that you can make yourself even homemade natural toothpaste that's going to do the job amazingly well. Another thing to look out for, we talk about this in terms of nutrition, is too much alcohol or caffeine. It is hard on our body to process these substances. So, if you really love your coffee, maybe look at cutting back on how many regular cups of coffee you have and replacing some of those with decaf coffee. Now, with decaf coffee, you want to make sure you're going with a Swiss water process and organic, I'd say, for all coffee, because they can be a really heavily sprayed crop with pesticides and things like that. So try an organic Swiss water decaf coffee to replace some of your regular coffee. It is a lot easier on your system and your adrenal glands when you're not consuming a ton of caffeine. Maybe have some club soda or some bubbly spring water with a squeeze of lemon or lime, or infuse your water with some fruit just for a nice flavor to replace some of your alcoholic beverages. I know it's holiday season, so there's lots of Christmas parties happening right now. So even just having a glass of club soda in between your cocktails or your glasses of wine can really help you hydrate and also reduce your risk of having a really nasty hangover the next day. So the thing that sometimes people forget is, like, we think, okay, well, alcohol, our liver has to process alcohol, but our liver also has to process any and all chemicals that we bring into our body as well. And it can do a really great job, but sometimes if we have too many toxins, it can really add up and our liver can get sluggish and slow and needing support. So if we can reduce our overall toxic load by replacing some of these products I'm talking about today, then we can really give our liver a break and allow it to do its job most optimally so that we can feel our best. A few more things to run by you guys. Man, I know this is a big list today, but there's a lot of stuff that we're exposed to in our everyday lives, whether we're at home or work or just out and about, that can be really toxic for us and really cumulative over time. So I had already mentioned the air fresheners, or sorry, artificial scents. So if you're a scents person, my dear sister loves her smells. But she has switched over to a lot of different essential oils and essential oil blends. I believe there is a brand called, oh goodness, it's evading me. I know one for sure we have in Canada. It's a store called Sage. SAJE, and they have amazing essential oil blends. They have roll-on essential oil perfumes, candles, diffusers that you can get, and these are all natural scents instead of getting, the traditional kind that come in the aerosol can, full of chemicals, artificial scents. And like I said, those are hormone disruptors. And not only that, some people just don't tolerate them really well. Sometimes we can be really sensitive, in terms of getting a stuffy nose, runny nose, itchy eyes, all those kinds of things. I don't do well with artificial scents at all. Even if I like the smell, it really does irritate me. So these are some really great options to look at. Also, looking at our work environment, depending on what kind of work we do or the building we're in, there can be fumes, there can be air quality issues, there can be mold that we may or may not be unaware of. Our coworkers maybe love to wear lots of perfume or scented hair products or lotions. So, if you work in an environment that has any of those things, consider maybe getting an air purifier for your office if you can. Bring filtered water from home if your office does not provide you with filtered water. Get out for some fresh air when you can. For a break, go for a walk around the block. That's always good for us in more than one way. And, maybe talk to the powers that be in your office about having a scent-free office place so that, if you're irritated by scents, you can be more comfortable. And trust me, if you are finding that artificial scents are irritating, you're not the only one who is also affected by that too. Also looking at the cleaners that are being used, just like you would look at your cleaners at home, what kind of cleaners are being used in the office? What if you work in a hair salon, or you're a mechanic, or you work in a mine or another factory? So these are all things that can expose you to chemicals And so that's when, if you can, have an air purifier in your workstation, drink your filtered water, and, maybe double up on your efforts to reduce the toxins in other areas of your home and your life, so that when you are exposed to those things at work, it's going to have less of an impact when you have less exposure to things overall. Another one is EMFs. I think a lot of us don't think about this a lot. So electromagnetic frequencies. So there's more and more information out there that shows how these things are affecting us. And I know for many of us, like myself, we spend a lot of time in front of a computer, we spend a lot of time in front of screens as part of our job, our phones. One thing we can do, I know one thing I really do for myself that really helps with my sleep is if I'm watching TV at night, and especially after I've been in front of a computer all day, I have some glasses that have a blue light blocker. So what this does is it's going to block that blue light from getting into my eyes, which is very stimulating and can really affect your ability to have a restful sleep. So using glasses that have blue light blockers in them, you can just Google it. There's lots of different options online. Some are really inexpensive, and just wearing those if you love to watch your TV, or if you have to work into the evening, or you like to be on your phone, doing that for the last like 2 or 3 hours before bed is really going to help with your sleep. Also things like, ladies, please don't put your phone in your bra against your skin. Just please don't. You're getting EMFs from your phone. It's not a good idea. And guys, don't put your phone in your pocket. Like, you got to find a different place to carry your phone. Same thing when you're talking on your phone. Don't put it to your ear. Talk on speakerphone whenever you can. Obviously, you're not going to do that if you're in a public place and be rude and have a loud conversation over speakerphone, but use the speakerphone when you can. Also using corded things, like if you can still access corded headsets for your phone or your computer, a corded mouse, also a keyboard. Wireless objects emit more EMFs, which does affect us. So if you can cut back on the amount of wireless products you have in your home, that's going to go a long way in terms of reducing your toxic load. And lastly, one thing I didn't mention before in personal care products is heavy metals that you can find in things like deodorant. So a lot of antiperspirants and deodorants contain aluminum, which increases your breast cancer risk. And yes, men can get breast cancer too. So looking into natural deodorant options, trust me, there are some that work. I have tried lots that don't, but there are some good options that work. There's a Beautycounter brand, Primally Pure brand, Native brand, Green Beaver. There's a lot out there that you can try in terms of an aluminum-free deodorant. And also a lot of those deodorants too have tons of artificial scents in them. I've already explained why you want to avoid artificial scents as much as possible. So looking at a naturally essential oil scented product or an unscented natural product. And also when it comes to cooking, avoiding aluminum foil whenever you can, and using parchment paper instead for your cooking instead of using aluminum. If you're cooking in aluminum, you're going to get some of that that's going to leach into your food, just like if you were using old aluminum pans. So replace that with some parchment paper. And like I said, with pans, you want to look at stainless steel, or you want to look at cast iron. And one other thing to look at avoiding the heavy metals accumulating in your body is avoiding eating bigger fish on a regular basis. So tuna contains a lot of mercury. You have to be really careful about how much you consume, because mercury does accumulate in your body. It is not very easy to get rid of heavy metals. There are ways that you can. Sometimes the treatments can be not the most pleasant. So if you can reduce how much you're bringing into your body, you will benefit from that. So avoiding things like tuna and sticking to smaller fish like anchovies, sardines, shellfish like mussels and oysters and clams, fish like flounder, haddock, catfish, salmon, rainbow trout, Atlantic mackerel, herring, and pollock. So I know this was a lot of information. I usually recommend to my clients, you don't have to overhaul everything in a day or a week, but just work on gradually replacing some of these household items and some of these foods and personal care products just gradually, so that over time you are reducing your toxic load overall and you're giving your body a break. So this is going to go a long way in terms of your overall health as well. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about this today. So Casey and I will be back on Thursday. We're going to talk more in detail about toxicity, what it does, how it affects the body, how it affects your arthritis or autoimmune condition. And of course, we're going to give you some suggestions for reducing that toxic load. And we're also going to be announcing an upcoming event that we have coming up on Tuesday, December 13th in the evening. So stay tuned for that. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you again on Thursday. Bye, guys.